let's talk about your Bachelor story, if we can get it out of the way.
Yeah, shoot, man. A lot like the billboard in Springfield. The Bachelor still follows me to this day as well.
Yep.
No, but luckily I did not follow through with it. But there's a pretty good story behind the whole how it all came to works, and um, so I'll give you a little behind the scenes here.
Please.
So this is a little fast forward because this is 2005. Um, and it was my first. I started the year in Double A,
Uh-huh.
so back in Jackson, Tennessee, and we got a house full of the just teammates, roommates, and there was this one guy that was married, and she was a huge fan of the show. I had watched it a couple times here and there, but she was a huge fan of the show, and she would always tell me, she's like, "You would be perfect for this. You'd be perfect for this." And so, I just laughed it off. And then,
Sure.
I'm sure for those who've watched it, it's like, if you know who the next Bachelor would be, please,
Yeah.
submit them, this and that, at the end of the show or whatever. And so she came to me one day and she's like, "Do you care if I submit your name?"
This is great,
And I'm like,
man.
"Listen, I don't care. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I don't care. You do what you want." And so weeks go on, and then next thing you know, I get this after one game, still in Double A, still kind of going through the season there. At the end of the game, you're checking your phone and what the messages and whatnot, and I have a missed call and a voicemail, and I listen to it, and it's like a producer from ABC, The Bachelor, and very interested in you and your story, and would love to connect with you. And I just kind of laughed it off. And so, after the game, shower up, you go out, and the wives and families and whatnot are and waiting for us. And I went over to her, and I was like, well, which friend did you get, to kind of prank call me
Yeah.
with this Bachelor
Oh,
stuff?
you did not
And
think it was real?
no, 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 no. I was like, this is a joke.
That's
I
perfect.
was like, so I thought, she was a prank call, and she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Listen to this voicemail that I got, while I was during the game." And she's like jumping up and down, screaming, hollering, and she's like, "No, this is so real. This. I did not have anything to do with this. So I just again kind of laughed it off, and but she's like, "Will you call him back?" And all right, I'll call him back. I'll just kind of entertain this
Yeah.
and call him back. And next thing you know, they're like, "Yeah, like you made the cut to at least get this thing off the ground and get started." And so they send me a bunch of information to fill out, like what type of girls do you like, what times of dates, like all this information of your type,
Uh-huh.
and what your dream looks like, finding your significant other. And
Uh-huh.
so it was kind of fun. We get on these bus trips, and for those who've been on a team bus, like some of the buses have a microphone at the front. So I get on there, and we go on a long road trip, and I'm like, all right, I get on the mic, all right, guys, this is what's going on. John Conley was the guy that was married to this girl, and he was a great little left-handed pitcher. I was on the team, and I was like, Miss Conley's got me into this, and we're gonna have some fun with this. So I start reading out the story, or reading out the questions, and I have the whole team helping me fulfill, like,
Answer them.
answer these questions. So at this point, I got the whole team like involved in this. It's probably my fault from like spreading the news, but
Yeah.
we were having a ton of fun with it, a ton of fun. And so we submit these in, and then weeks go by. Next thing you know, it's like, all right, you've made the next cut. And
Wow.
then then you had to send videos in, right?
Yeah.
Pictures and videos. And so again, like, get the guys into this. The
Yeah.
manager knows at this point, and
Everyone's in support of this. Like, they don't think it's a distraction or anything.
I mean, as you
It's
know, these
fun.
long bus rides,
Yeah,
like, you're
right.
either watching movies or playing cards. Like,
Yeah.
this was a fun twist. And
Absolutely.
um, And so we're having fun doing these videos, and again, submit them in, and next thing you know, it's like, all right, you made the next cut.
It's getting real now.
And I'm like, oh, geez, like, yeah, exactly. It's
I don't
getting
want
real.
this.
Well, and that's what I started getting to thinking. I'm like, honestly, man, I'm not ready to get married. Like, I mean, you go on
Yeah.
these shows to find or you're supposed to, I guess,
Right.
anyway. And I'm like, I'm not ready to get married. Like, I'm just like getting going in my career. Just had a
Yeah.
couple nice years, and like to your point, like, is it a distraction? Like, what would the Cubs think this is a bad deal? And
Yeah.
so all this stuff's going through my head, and
Especially if you're not like a top prospect guy too, you know?
oh yeah, completely. And my mom's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I've watched these shows, and I don't want to be on this show." And
Mama O'Malley's not into it.
yeah, and you can imagine my dad. He doesn't even know what the show is.
Right. Never seen it. No idea.
Yeah. And then like we have the camp or the not the campus pastor, but the team
Chaplain.
yeah, chaplain, right? So he knows about this, and he's like, man, what are you doing? You're going down the wrong path. Like, this is not. I've
This
seen
ain't
this
it.
show. Yeah. So he's kind of on me, and but next thing you know, like there's the final three. Like, it's down to the final three, and I've got to take
That's
a
crazy.
trip. I got to take a trip to. They're inviting me to Los Angeles, Hollywood, to kind of solidify the final three. And so at that point, I'm like, man, it's the middle of the season. I'm starting at the time in
Yeah.
Double A. Like, so I'm things are good, going good. And again, I thought it was a distraction, this and that. And again, my manager was on board. He was like, hey, with you being in a starting rotation, make your start, fly out, go do your thing, come back, you can make your next start. Like, if you want to do that, also, go for it. But again, I got the thing. I'm like, dude, this isn't for me. Baseball is my dream. I'm not ready to get married, like, And I kind of pulled my name out of the hat at that point. But that's the backstory. That's the kind of the whole
dude.
thing, and it's still, people still bring it up to
Made
this
it
day.
made it to the final three without
Yeah.
trying.